All right, here we go. Hey guys, no we on yet, but that's okay, man. I roll the way I roll, with or without you. So most of it's just going to be getting started. Hopefully we'll get a few you guys on. It's early, but that's what I want to do. I want to try to hit today. Today's kind of a recap of some things I discussed and some issues that went on a couple days ago. Happy Friday to everybody. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's usually what we say, right? And we just get things straightened out here. Getting my chat on. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time today talking a little bit about that. Some things that you can do with chat streams, some little things that you can do to add a little bit of interest and things like that. Things that people are already doing, and my job is to show you how easy those things can be. So a couple things that I've added. Of course, we got the live stream in here. I've got a setup at home too. So what I'm going to be doing probably. I'd like to do a Friday version, but I'd also like to do a home version. When I chat at home right now, I'm still at work. I'm decompressing. Work's over. What I like to do is think a little bit about the direction I'd like to go for maybe the weekend. Say I've got some plans, maybe some flying plans when it comes to my drone or photography or any kind of product reviewing and things that I do. But I am looking forward to the weekend. I'm looking forward to getting out. I think I'm going to travel a little bit this weekend. I think I'm going to leave my comfort zone and head out and capture some video from a different part of the area. So that's part of that. But welcome, like I said, welcome to Friday. And hopefully you're liking the chat stream, kind of how the intro is going. It's pretty standard, the countdown. Now, I apologize for the lengthy countdown. I wasn't quite ready. I've had a lot of things going on. Was planning on getting something else done. I use OBS to also create video. And when I put say a tutorial together, well, like one of the things I'm working on is I'm putting together a script for the Great Depression. Anybody excited about that? So I'm putting together a discussion on the Great Depression. I've got different notes that I've put together. I put my notes together in slips, so I put it down in storyboard format. So if you wanted to create a story for somebody, and you want to do it live, it's good to have cheat sheets, little cheat sheet cards. So yes, I'm gonna probably tomorrow morning, maybe I don't know, maybe right after I'm done with this stream, I'm gonna put together a 9-minute production on the end of the 1920s into the Great Depression. So if anybody's interested in that kind of awesome stuff, that is something I'm working on, and I've created a whole set for that. So inside of OBS, you have to create scenes for that. So I've got a. I'm not going to go and pull anything out of OBS right now, but in my console, I've got a scene selection where it says Great Depression, and in there is a list of images that are going to go along with my Great Depression, end of the 20s, going into the Great Depression, and of course looking at the New Deal, the recovery programs, and all that. So if you're interested in history, okay, I'm a history teacher, I'm always interested in it. I am completing that unit, and I am going on to, just for a little 411, we are going on to World War II. Oh yes, I am so excited about World War II. World War II is my absolute favorite discussion topic. So if you like to have a little bit of discussion and you're interested in talking about anything, if you're on my chat time and you want to discuss the Second World War, guys, you have come to the right place. I absolutely love it. as far as the content is concerned, as far as the interest that World War II basically creates, and how people are just, absolutely enthralled with this World War II stuff. Hey, Rodney, hey, welcome, Rodney. I was just kind of going over my introduction, of course. Yes, yeah, Richard, nice. I appreciate you're on. All right, you guys are back. Drone Bum was on earlier, but he saw my countdown timer. Can you guys hear me okay? Right now I'm just talking to myself. I'm hoping I'm doing that. Hey, yeah, Drone Bum, yeah, he came in and he lost, he must be driving or something. He lost reception, who knows? But hopefully he comes back. He said he would come back as soon as he came into. I was talking about some of the topics I wanted to hit. Abandoned City Camel Crew, hey, welcome in. Okay, how you doing? Guys, if this is the first time that you've popped in here, I am going to give you especially these first couple live streams, kind of the breadth and depth of what I like to talk about, what I like to cover, because guys, I definitely want to talk about stuff you're interested in, absolutely. So we're going to be going through. We got into a lot of discussion about aircraft and things like that. Of course, guys, I love drones. I'm definitely going to discuss things I've seen on the internet or I've watched. I watched somebody flying their their Mantis. I thought that was pretty fun watching them fly that. That's kind of a cool drone. So if there's anybody with a Mantis, that thing that's like Mavic 2. And any of you guys, that's the Abandoned City Camel. So if any of you guys, I know a lot of you guys are doing lives too. So what I'm trying to do is find a time frame. I don't mind this time frame. So 4 o'clock. I'd like to start exactly at 4. Guys, I've only been on for about 8 or 9 minutes, but I'm thinking about 4-ish. It gets into people's dinner time, but guys, I'm not going to go into your dinner time. So as people leave for dinner, I'm ready to move forward. So from there, but I've got a lot of things going on when it comes to setting up this stream. I want it to be definitely semi-professional. Okay. I want to have cool graphics. You can see I've got some cool things going on. I got to remember left is right and right is left. Okay, right there. I'm using the Adobe Spark to put some nice good combos, color combos. So if you're wondering how those color combinations occur, it's Adobe Spark. Okay, left is right, right is left. Got to remember that, guys. But that's how I'm getting these funky colors. It's not because I'm artistic. I know what I like to see, but I don't. I'm not reinventing the wheel. Hopefully, I'm getting some modern colors and things like that. Let's see, what do you got going on? It wasn't very long. I was using my phone, but it was. Let's see, working. Hopefully, are you talking about streaming, phone streaming? It's 11:18 here, so good for here. Yeah, it's good here for the stream. Abandoned City, good. Okay, where are you at? Where is it? 11:18. Where are you at? UK. That's my guess. I know I've got a delay, so I got to give you a couple seconds to respond to that. But one of the things I was talking about to my imaginary friends before you guys, my real friends, showed up, was I am putting together a discussion on the Great Depression. I teach, so one of the things I'm going to be doing, not here, England. Nicely done, man. Welcome to the U.S. from the U.K. All right, but I want to discuss the great, not here, but in my video I'm going to do for my students. We're talking about the Great Depression. So, oh, you were testing your live stream with your Galaxy S8. Yeah, I want to definitely get a guest in or two, because there's people I really enjoy watching, and I'd like to talk directly to them. Plus, I won't feel like I'm sitting here chatting by myself. I do like to actually have discussions with human beings. And I know you guys are human beings, but it's hard to talk to a chat stream. For you guys that are here, if you guys remembered what I was talking about before, the Great Recession, 2007 recession, the Great Recession. Yeah, the recession that happened through from 2017 all the way to about 2009, because there were two phases of that, if you remember. There was the mortgage debacle, and then the banks. So, recession, depression. Hey guys, we did the Great Depression in UK. Yeah, the Great Depression was great because it wasn't just one country that was dealing with it. It was a worldwide depression. So if we end up getting into this conversation, I don't mind it. So if you guys want to talk, I like World War II. So if you guys want to get into a conversation that'll light me up and probably light some of you guys up, that's where we're going. I'm taking my students to World War II next. So we're going to talk about the Second World War, and we go into depth. But going back to recession, depression, guys, a recession is, if you remember the definition of it, is a period of time that of 6 months or 2 quarters, two business quarters in a row of slowdown or profit or lack of profits. Yes, good. We are World War II nuts. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I know your videos are good. Okay, that's why I watch them. Okay, but when you guys get to go and actually go into real places, bunkers and air raid shelters. The UK is full of that stuff. You guys probably have some great sites where, let's see, Captain Bob Morgan, Memphis Bell Crew. Yeah. Oh wow, that's way cool. Okay, the Memphis Bell. Guys, the 8th Air Force was absolutely just critical in what they did, and of course England was the center of that, and of course it was a massive effort between American daylight bombers and British night bombers, just ravaging Nazi cities, and I'll say Nazi cities because they were Nazi cities at that time. And thank you, Dennis, for showing up. Hey, Dennis, I just want you to know you were kind of, I think you were worried about if you had insulted me or not. Just remember, I'm a teacher. You can't insult me. I take it as positive feedback, and I did change it, and I did it because you told me to, and it was great advice. If you don't know what the inside I'm talking about, is Dennis suggested on that last 360 video, I do some changes. One was I had copyrighted material on there that I had to remove, which I did, because I went to bed going, why am I putting out a video with copyrights on it when I want it to continue to be played? I don't want it to be here and gone. Now, I would suggest. Yeah, thank you. And I threw a bunch of funky stuff on there. Hopefully it's not, sometimes I figure funky music, the funky backbeats and stuff like that, it appeals to a lot of people, but a lot of people get annoyed by it. So let's see, it was his guide in 1993, 13th of May. So you got to guide the Memphis Belle captain. Sweet, that is pretty cool. I think that's where we're going. I'm looking at the chat stream there. I need to make my chat stream a little bigger so the words are bigger. They need to have an old person chat stream with giant letters. So, but Dennis, I really appreciate your help. I do. I need the conscience that you provide. You're kind of like my, if I had an angel sitting here telling me, hey, do the right thing, that's be Dennis. But you guys that are hitting the World War II topic, first of all, let's finish the Great Depression, because we gotta kick that subject out of here. So as far as the Great Depression is concerned and discussions about it and things like that, guys, it was a worldwide event. It wasn't something that was just Americans, especially I think a lot of them that were taught in these classrooms as when we didn't have social media. a lot of us basically looked at the Great Depression as just being an American event. Guys, the Great Depression was spawned by the destruction of Europe. I mean, it literally, I believe it had its roots in a lot of places. One was the weakness of the European economy after World War I. I mean, the World War I was ravaged Europe. We stuck Germany in a hole that it couldn't get out of, and the United States just basically took their hands off of European issues, and we left. And Europeans, were trying to figure out how to deal with post-war Europe. The British had we had to deal with all these veterans coming back that had no work, and then of course they came back to Great Britain, where the economy was stale and stagnant. France was a freaking graveyard. The neighboring countries like Belgium were were totally ravaged by it. So there's a lot of poverty. And then you got Germany. Nobody feels bad for Germany, but I guarantee if we would have had a Marshall Plan at that time for Germany, Germany would have not created or spawned the evil that basically ended up coming out with it coming to Hitler. So anyway, that's kind of my take there. Obviously that's we call it armchair quarterbacking in the United States. I'm giving you, Dennis, you deserve all that credit. So by the way, you're gonna make me better. I'm gonna if I ever become anything as far as a YouTuber is concerned, Dennis is going to be either in cahoots with me. He'll be my partner in some way, partner in crime, like all of us in here. Let's see. Did not the Dust Bowl also? Yeah. Richard, the Dust Bowl, if you want to go, oh man, we're going to have a long discussion here. You got me started, guys. You get me started. Now, remember, these are all my opinions on it based upon things that everybody, I think it's common knowledge. Okay, if you want to go into the Great Depression and its roots, yes, there are a lot of places. Like any large economic issue, there are many different places. You can look at the Great Depression as a tree that has roots, and those roots are from many different places. So one of those roots are the end of the European War. The next is American financial policies. We literally cut ourselves off from the rest of the world through tariffs. So that's another thing, is American tariffs. The early Republican presidents decided that protecting American industry would be how we would insulate ourselves from the European depression. So if we insulated ourselves and just excluded the Europeans, we figured that it would be easier for American workers, American industry, which was recovering from the loss of production after World War I. So we stopped producing goods that were basically intended or earmarked to go to places like England and France to support the war effort, gas masks and helmets and things that we helped to produce to aid the European war. So let's see here. And in getting back to the Dust Bowl issue, American farmers were the first to be hit by the end of World War I. You guys just hate this, don't you? You got a history teacher going to bore the crap out of you. I know the stuff I know. I'm a historian that does. When we get into World War II topics, I expect any French. I wish the French would show up here because they could offer us a little bit of insight. But definitely the Brits. So you guys from the UK, you folks from the UK, not just Brits, because the UK there was a ton of UK involvement. You can't just limit it to just folks living in one tiny area. The Scots and the Irish. There was all kinds of involvement. The Canadians. Can we let the Canadians come into this? Let's give them Juno Beach, huh? Yeah. So let's just if you want to chime in on the if you want to chime in on the Great Depression stuff. Especially how Great Britain was affected after World War I, because you guys would be taught that in your schools, and I really don't have that depth of knowledge. What it was like. Did any of you guys see the new movie that came out? The one that was done by Peter Jackson? Oh my Lord, guys. No Canadians except Roger. It took a massive effort to defeat evil and everybody that basically had their foot in the sand in the beaches of Normandy, or basically was hunkered down in a foxhole on the Eastern Front. Basically made that happen. First of all, I'm not that history teacher that's going to sit and glorify America's involvement in World War II, because quite frankly, the British, especially if you were, hopefully, I think one of you guys, I told you to read the book Stalingrad by Anthony Beevor. I actually show that book to my kids because every once in a while I'll get a high school kid that'll read that book, and they'll never want to return it until it's done. But the carnage that went on in the Eastern Front was so massive. It's hard for a lot of people. It's hard to describe it to high school kids because it was so massive. And what went down in places in Eastern Europe, in Eastern Poland, in Western Russia, was unbelievable in its scale. So it's hard for us to put it into words. And getting back to the 8th Air Force, the descriptions by Germans of what it looked like for 1,000 bombers to fly over their city. Could you imagine the sky blackened with dots, and every one of those dots is going to drop something that's high explosive on your head? So that's the way I look at it. I look at the emotional impact. I try to get the kids to relate to the emotions of these events, not just to divulge the facts of those events, even though they're cool. Nicely, I did my history exam on World War II. Yes, they shall not. Yep, Peter Jackson, guys, they shall not grow old, man. You haven't seen it? Oh man. They released it all over Europe and the UK. But they didn't release it hardly any place here. Now, how did I see it? I had a friend who decided to share with me a file, and it was that movie. So yes, I'm sorry. I watched it already, and it was, guys, just be honest, it was freaking amazing what they did to that footage. Of those British soldiers. Remember now, if you have not heard of the movie Jackson's movie, it basically takes I think roughly 600 hours of audio and 100 years, 600 hours of audio or video. I don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers. I'm just making crap up right now. But and they took it and they colorized it and they reproduced it. And I probably could use a screenshot of it, couldn't I? I'm afraid of getting in trouble. You guys didn't, guys, Dennis, go see it. Okay, you have to be a history lover, but I think even people that are not true lovers of history will be amazed by what technology did to 100-year-old film. It is. I mean, there's shots of men walking through these battlefields that before they kind of just looked like black and white objects going through a lifeless kind of environment, and they magically come to life. They literally, the faces of these men become real, and it makes you just excited. It's that we've actually been able to do that, and I think they need to do this also to Second World War film. I think they can do it to all historical film. But it takes a will, and it takes somebody wanting to spend the money and the time. It's time to computer generate these movies, and that's a lot of it's done with computers. So, all right, let me go through this chat. Say we got. Yeah, so the movie is They Shall Not Grow Old, and it's Peter Jackson's movie. And I still didn't answer the question by, let's see, I go back through that chat stream. Guys, I don't want to leave anybody hanging, man. That has a good question or a good idea. Oh, there it is. Gotta get there. Keep jumping back and forth here. I just wanted to go back really quick, and I just want to see who I know. I remember the question. Let's see. It was the Dust Bowl question. We were looking at the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl question. Who was asking me that? Let's go back. Let's see. Dust Bowl. That gets into a totally different part of the Great Depression. There's a lot of it. Like any story, it has many different chapters. Yes, that was Richard. You asked me that question. And Richard, going back, I'm gonna come back to the First World War again, because the First World War, Great Depression, all these events are linked. Yeah, Dennis, Peter Jackson is, he wrote your favorite books. Lord of the Rings, right? Is he no, that's not Lord of the Rings, is it? Peter Jackson? No, it's The Hobbit and stuff, the movies. Thank you. You guys are all going to straighten me out here, because I'm not big into, guys, I like historical stuff. I'm not big into fantasy, so I'm not going to read that. I'm going to read the dirty stuff, the dirty facts books. That's what I'm into. I want to know how many, how far, how big, how grand, how important. That's the kind of stuff that I like. Yeah. Oh, Tolkien wrote the books. Jackson, thank you. Tolkien wrote the Lord of the Rings series. Jackson did the movies depicting it. Thank you. Thank you. And Dennis, I appreciate you. You see, you have to have an expert on you have to have a literary expert to go along with the bull crap that I spew. Guys, I even know I'm full of crap sometimes. But got most of it, guys, I'd say 90% of it is real, and if I don't know something, I usually will tell you. You know nothing? It's okay. If you know nothing about history and you're interested in it, then you're in the right place, because you can ask me a question and I will do my best to answer it. I am not Mr. History, because there's a lot of stuff I don't know. If you go into ancient history, if you go back into world history, I do know the connections of world history. But I don't know a lot of, say you go into the dynastical history of China, of ancient China. I'm not wrong guy. I know the basics. I can talk to you a little bit about, the impact of, say, the Song dynasty, the Qin dynasty, okay, and things like that. I can hit that stuff kind of. So. All right, there's my stream there. Let me go back to that. All righty. But I really encourage you guys that are your history buffs. Maybe that's my calling on YouTube. Because guys, I'm not going to entertain you with. I'm not going to sit and tell you about my everyday life. That's just not the way I roll. I do a little bit. I talk about it. On my walks. I'll tell you about Steve, and I'll give you some events that happen. But I'm not going to just sit and just kind of. I'm not going to just blurb out just nonsense about, me drinking this Coke right here, or Pepsi, okay? I'm not gonna go there. So who's 113 subs? Tim, okay? You can't say that word, okay? Anybody that watches my stream, first of all, is gonna know that that's not what I'm about here. This stream has nothing to do with me, trying to pump you up as far as subs are concerned. So But on the other hand, if, you guys sharing, and the more people that come in and maybe are interested in the topic that we talk about, but I'm not going to sit here and do what you call, I don't know what you call those things, freaking, I don't know, a freaking sub blitz or whatever. Guys, as a teacher, the only subs that I'm worried about is the one that's going to take over my class when I go to Poland. Yes. Going to Krakow, Poland, guys, in the spring. So excited. And I'm going to be visiting, I'm going to visit Auschwitz, Birkenau, and I'm going also to Amsterdam, and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to look at some historical buildings. I'm going to stand on the footsteps of places where people did cool stuff, and I'm going to basically feel the power of what it's like to be in a place like an Auschwitz, and hopefully get a feeling for the absolute human tragedy that went down there. So and there's no question that a human tragedy existed there. So no Holocaust deniers are allowed in this chat stream. Please stay away. I am not Jewish, but I am a historian. And please, yeah, so anyway, that's my only rant there. Let's see, what's this guy going on here? Poland. Yeah, Dennis, I am not a world traveler. So Dennis, if you are a world traveler and you've been to somewhere like this and you have anything to keep me out of trouble, what's that? How about bacon? Is that about food bacon or history bacon? Oh, history of bacon, not the historical figure. Anyway, raise your Pepsi to my lager. Hey, there's no lager happening. Not yet. I do appreciate lager, though. I do appreciate it. I've done a little bit of brewing myself. You're not supposed to drink in public because it's rude, but I'm doing it. Let's see. Substitute teachers, yes. And believe me, I've been to Poland. It's nice. Abandoned city camo. One of the things you could do for me as far as Poland is concerned, if you have like some things that you, I think I might have asked you this, if you have some things that you suggest, I think I may have asked you that I do, that might interest me, because you're kind of understanding that I do like historical places. I don't mind having somebody tell me about, the person that stood on this point in 1752. I don't mind that. That's okay with me. Homebrew, all right, we got that. My father has been brewing all his life. He's probably really good at it, Tim. Let's see. Poland is now a big U.S. ally. Yep. Let's see. I recently asked if the U.S. wanted to station U.S. military in the country. And yes, it is one of those countries that did. Now, if you think about why Poland would make that decision, it's obvious. They've got a big bully to the east of them. I'm screwing up east and west, but Poland's got a huge bully to the west of, or the east of them, that I would not trust either. If I was Poland, I would be friends with the United States, and I would allow all the tanks, missile systems, and soldiers on my soil that they want to bring in. I'd say bring them in. Russia's a big bully, guys. I'm not. If we get Russians, maybe they can kind of back up their, Putin and things like that. But okay. If we get on to who's a bully and this and that, and obviously the United States has pushed its weight around globally. There's no question about that. I'm not an American that sits here believing that we do no wrong. So, guys, I am a teacher of history, and I understand our role in the world, and I also understand the fact that we sometimes step a little heavy on other people's turf, and I definitely am open for discussion on those issues. So, but the Polish don't like the UK or what? The Polish don't like the UK or the US? Why would that'd be interesting? Here, Germany is no longer friendly with U.S. troops being stationed. Thus, Poland's offer. I guess the opinion with Polish. What about the average everyday citizen? A lot of people. I don't know. You'd have to. What do you think? What is the average, the man on the street? If you go ask him, the average Polish citizen, I guess I'm going to ask him that because when I go there, I'm going to definitely talk to people when I'm there. I'm not going to go in there thinking that I own the country. I'm going to go there and I'm going to be very, what I would consider to be gracious of them allowing me entry into that country. I'm not going to complain about what I have to pay for a soda there. I'm not going to look down on their culture. I'm going to go there with an open mind, and I'm going to also go there and ask them the tough questions. What do you dislike about what let's see. Europe having big problems with the UN, UK, or US. The biggest thing is America is looked upon as being a large bully. Basically, that we think that we need to fix everything, and maybe we carry ourselves a little too heavy when we go abroad. There should be no border. Who's that? Tim Robinson. We all made of the same stuff, and we should share the same rock. Love and peace rules. Well, it should. Okay. So Tim, where's Tim from? Tim, where are you? Tim, let's see. Cold brew. Tim, are you from the UK? Oh, UN and UK and USA. Yeah, what NATO? We still have NATO, guys, and Poland is part of NATO. Aren't they? Let's see. We get blamed the same, Dad. Random. The Brits. I'm going to tell you right now. You guys definitely have had your feet around the planet. And I'm not going to be one of those people to say that. Let's bring up India. For example, let's bring up India. We'll bring up the whole Gandhi thing because that's one of those things that the British are basically turned into evil, evil doers. I guess you want to look at it. If you look at what the impact of the Brits in India, the Brits brought the Industrial Revolution to India, which was having none. Railroads, the European sense or the British sense of law and order was brought there. Of course they brought their culture. We do that everywhere when we go abroad, don't we? Let's see, UK and along great, whereas everyone else thinks we are a bully. You get along great, whereas everyone, yeah. Well, we do bully around people. I don't know. Now, if you ask the everyday American foot soldier, and that's where you got to go to the average everyday American foot soldier if you can talk to one. Go to the average everyday British foot soldier and then ask them why they're there. I think that's where you need to go. And then you look at politically, the big picture, whatever leadership is pulling the strings, But the average everyday person is usually there for a couple of reasons. Let's see, and killed 1 million people while doing it. Let's see, in famine, USA, UK. I'm missing that one. Let's see, while doing it in famine, the famine one. I'm trying to figure out where that's coming. I missed something earlier on when it comes to famine. The only thing I know about famine in Europe and in West Asia is the Soviet Union. You ask the average Ukrainian what they think about that. In Stalin's purges, and that's where you get into you start traveling lightly. And I think Russia, quite honestly, I think that the Russian Federation Yeah, India. You're saying India? The issue of India. Yeah, there's definitely some questionable things, you know, and there obviously as the British were being pushed out, there were tragedies, and that is true. You know, and they were an overseer, you know, a viceroy was there basically, but in the British Commonwealth, that's kind of how it went down, you know. Um, let's look at Australia and Canada. I mean, those are success stories of the British Commonwealth. I know they're both you know, independent, but I think you can't tell me that that wasn't a positive thing that happened to those places. Now you can get into the Aborigines in Australia and say, oh, you know, this and that. You can get into Canada and talk about, you know, maybe the French basically being turned into a minority there. But the French Quebec is still allowed to have autonomy there, and you know there's British sensibility and law and order going on. You know, now, the Canadians have their own pathway, and quite frankly, I don't see any problem with what they want to do or how it's being done there. So I haven't got. Can I get back to ending the Great Depression? and the Dust Bowl. I still haven't answered that question yet. I think I want to get back into the Dust Bowl. You guys that are you are, if you're not familiar with the Great Depression era, there were several issues that basically came on with the Great Depression. Okay, the era preceding the Second World War. Okay. And it was a worldwide depression. In America, there were several things. One was the financial crisis of 1929, due to a lot of factors. And we'll come back to Europe in a second. But there are a lot of factors, and those factors include the exuberance of the 1920s. People just thinking, hey, the good times are just going to keep going and getting greater and greater, and you know that you know we can just spend ourselves into exuberance with unlimited amounts of credit, and the stock market of the United States basically being out of control and unregulated. So we get into regulation, the lack of regulation in the 1920s, and then with farmers getting into the Dust Bowl, you have to look at the fact that the agriculture had massive deflation going on. After World War I. You know, during World War I, the United States government pumped up American agriculture to sell to the Europeans. So we were selling, you know, massive amounts of grain to Europe to feed soldiers and to deal with the lack of production in those places. And same thing with the UK. So we were exporting tons of American agriculture. After World War I. There was American protectionism that occurred because there was a lack of need for and purchasing of American goods that were coming from American farms. Prices started to inflate because our farmers were producing wartime levels of goods. So a bubble basically occurred. You're saying a stock market bubble, but there's also an agricultural bubble. American agriculture is really good, and it still is really good. I've got an uncle that basically my uncle is a corn harvester or a corn producer in the Midwest, and he and his son produce probably enough corn to feed 25,000 people. Just two farmers. A two-farmer operation. They farm about 1,000 acres between the two of them. And that's amazing if you think about it. Two farmers, 1,000 acres of corn. It's absolutely mind-boggling what American farmers are doing now. And as we went into the 1920s, the American farmer was mechanized. It was getting more productive. You had more modern more modern farm tools. Thus, a boom happened of agriculture. Well, the war ends. We're still overproducing, and the American farmer sees the prices of grain and other agricultural things drop. And of course, American protectionism kicked in, tariffs and things like that, which just made it worse. Oh, absolutely. We farm let's see, my uncle has 1,000, yeah. 1,100 acres is corn and soybeans, yeah. Heck yeah. So anyways, the Dust Bowl basically occurred at the worst period of time. We basically had a drought in the what they call a part of the Farm Belt. That was in the areas of Oklahoma, New Mexico, let's see, southern Colorado, and then the Dakotas faced some of that. But there was a belt of drought that occurred at that time, and of course, farming I'm saying not farming procedures, but farming practices at that time were not conservative. It was just plow it down and plant. And when you get a drought and you get weather where you get the movement of soils, which basically happened, it basically blew all over the place. So places with very fragile ecosystems were devastated. And of course, farmers were foreclosed on that were trying to just keep producing more. Because what a farmer does during times of deflation is they go, well, we can either store corn or we can just produce more. And if we have the ability to rent more land and produce more, we'll just make more. We'll make more so we can pay our bills, you know. So Tim Lee is leaving. I already bored him to death. He's leaving. See you, Tim. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you showing up. Have a great weekend. Okay. Like I said, if I switch my time, maybe history time can go. Now we're going into my first hour here in just a little bit. I don't plan on going that much longer. I don't want to exhaust my subjects, but quite honestly, just to be honest with you guys, I can go on and on. I can't stop. I can't end. My words just keep coming. It's my job, so. But I thank you guys. I'm going to keep going for a little while, and I'm going to change subjects in just a bit, because if you wear out a subject, it's kind of like, guys, you guys are like kids, like teaching high school kids. Once you go a certain length of time, you have to calm it down and move on. We have to transition because a lot of you guys are going to get worn out of the topics, and I do tend to move around a little bit. But we will hit the World War II issue really hard here soon. But I just wanted to finish the Dust Bowl question for Richard, and it sounds like you live in a let's see. However, now I fear we farm too much and a corn bubble. The government has different ways to deal with the corn bubble. It's called subsidies. We pay them anyway. We guarantee prices. The sugar industry saw price guarantees. Basically, we are paying the sugar industry 3 times the amount that it actually costs to produce sugar, which makes no sense. We literally could pay less for sugar, and we don't. So we prop up American industry, and we subsidize certain things because we feel it's necessary. The only thing that changed the sugar industry is corn producers, because corn becomes sugar. It's a cheap form of sugar. Let's see, ADHD meds are wearing out. I'm sorry, Richard. I literally, some days I literally kill my kids in school. I can go way too far. Yeah, corn syrup. Corn syrup is a cheap form of sugar, and this is not corn syrup, because somebody said and came out and said, "Hey, that's not healthy. Let's put chemicals in there, because corn syrup makes you fat." And this thing here has what do you call it? Aspartame. So biofuel. A lot of people actually criticize America for eating beef because they feel that's a waste. Feeding corn to animals is a waste of the use of corn. Also, the use of the creation of ethanol from corn is also been viewed by many as a waste of the use of a commodity that people could eat in places where there are where corn syrup makes you fat, chemicals make you dead. I'm changing. My daughter, she's a health nut. Okay, she doesn't like me drinking Pepsi. I like zero sugar though. It's Pepsi Max. Okay, Pepsi Max, maximum taste. Okay, zero sugar. It's healthy. It's a health drink. It's a health food. Come on. I don't drink that many, by the way. It's like this. This is health food too, by the way. Somebody told me it's a protein bar. They said, "Hey, you can be healthy." All right. We'll go, guys. We'll go into the maybe nutrition some other time. 40% of corn used for ethanol. You're probably right, especially in the Midwest. Serena has to be, it says so right on the can. Yes. Dennis, you think like me, man. We're just, but you're healthy. I've seen you. You're actually like a healthy build. I'm big, okay? I take up extra gravity. I waste aircraft fuel. When I get on airplanes, pilots go. What happened to Olean? Anybody remember Olean? Olean was put in chips. Anybody remember that? And then on the bag of chips it said, "This really is good for you, but it can cause anal leakage." Does anybody remember that? Olean, yes. And nobody wants anal leakage. Oh, guys. I so much have fun. I can see why people can get addicted to live streams. No fat stuff. I just like discussion, guys. I really enjoy discussion. I love it. I love, like I said, and there's a lot of topics. That's why I'm Dad Random. Guys, do you know that, let me give you some of my randomness, okay? You guys wonder why I'm Dad Random. All right, let me tell you all the different things I've done. I've been a farm kid. I've been a city kid. I've lived in both environments. And I've milked cows. I've driven large machinery. Guys, when I was 10, I was out in the field plowing. How many kids can tell you that? I've baled hay. I've flew airplanes. Haven't jumped out of one. I probably won't. I was a farm kid and a city kid. Yep. Had to do them both, man. My mom and dad split up, so I had to live in both worlds. Let me tell you, Dennis, your practical knowledge and your ability to calmly get yourself through things is your farm background. And you probably have a practical approach to fixing things, don't you? Yep. Hey, Rodney, we'll see you. Hey, come back. Okay, come back soon, man. Hey, good evening. I know it's late. You never flew an airplane? I never flew one by myself, but I did fly an airplane. It's quite exciting, by the way. I've got Dennis. You weren't here the other day, but I have 3 friends that are pilots. And all of them are commercial pilots, and they all fly big airplanes. One of them, we talked about that last time. We got into aircraft. We discussed the C-141 and those things. Probably right about farm background and fixing things. Plumbing is a job for a plumber, not for a farmer. We think we can do it all. Farmers don't like to call the guy. Farmers don't like to call the guy. The last thing I do is call the guy. Well, but since I've been older, since I've gotten more experienced, okay, I have started to call the guy more and more. Okay, I've called the guy more and more recently. Calling the guy means I'll go call for help, you know. So, all right. I wish we get another interested soul on, and maybe it's the timing. Maybe I don't know. Guys? You'd let me know if there's another chat stream that's going on now that's sucking up the bandwidth and talking about nothing cool or important. Send them over here, because quite literally, if you want to know something, get over to Dad and Random's Happy Friday. Yes, hey, Dennis, you want to know another thing I've done? I was an irrigation contractor for 10 years. I know how to plant stuff, and I know how to get water to it. I did that. I was also teaching at the same time. iSpike just started, so I don't think he has a schedule as such. Yeah, iSpike is good. I like to get on there. But some people just like suck up the bandwidth though. They're always like live streaming. And I mean, there's just, you know, he is interesting though, by the way. I go on there because he's interesting. My dog escaped. Steve doesn't escape. He minds me. Hey, Mike's son left the gate open for my dog Steve, and he stayed home. Guys, let's see. Continuing on from the things I've did, I am a dive master. I have a PADI certification up to dive master, and I was certified in 1993. I've dove as deep as 100 feet onto wrecks, so I've been wreck diving. I can talk about diving experiences. I've dove in the Pacific, and I've dove in the Caribbean. I have not done any diving in the Atlantic. I have been inside of wrecks, scary as crap, just so you know. I've been scared by large fish, including sharks. I've dove. A lot of my diving has been off the coast of California. And when I was in college, I actually worked as an active dive master. So I helped to train divers for about 3 years. I should be certified, but you think certifiably? Now I have not. I'm quite honest about what I do and what I don't do. I am not a Part 107 pilot yet. I am going to do that when the time comes. If certain things remain constant. One is that the drone environment turns into a professional environment. I am definitely not going to go to Part 107. It's just another certification. Guys, Dennis, this is how many certifications I got. Richard, if you're still on, please bear with me, okay? I have to, as a teacher, I have to be teacher certified. I have certifications and I have 2 degrees, okay? I also have to be certified as in a certain amount in counseling. Thank you, hey Richard. Drone worship is on. Please don't need a part. Yeah, people don't need a Part 108. Drone worship. It's about time you get out and get your freaking self in this conversation. Dan, just so you know, I'm in my freaking lane here. Okay, so and that's why when I get on your chat stream, Dan, Drone Worship has got one of the he's probably the one of the most technically gifted people that I know as far as what he does. Where he gets into the auto mechanics, he's not afraid to jump inside of things and figure it out, and that makes him, to me, a quite gifted person. And I know he's gonna. Dan, I know you're gonna find your pathway, dude. I know you're gonna find your lane, and I know you usually stay in your lane. So, and now I'm in my lane. He's too fast. I think he's part greyhound. Did he find his dog? You got to train him. Hey, I'll give. Maybe I should do a video on dog training, because I've been working with Steve. Steve was a terror, just so you know. Steve was an absolute nightmare when I first got him. He was a terror, but he was a puppy. Dan, Dan, I don't do this to butter you up. I do it because I mean it, and I'm not on your chat stream all the time because I feel like a third wheel. I get on there and I don't know what the hell to say because I'm not in my lane. My lane is stuff. Hey, Red Dog. So if you guys that are just getting on, we've talked about a lot of different things. We talked about a lot of historical topics. Dan, you already know that I'm a history teacher, so we get into a lot of history. I've got a lot of interests. Aeronautics is one interest, but I'm not an expert and I'm just learning it. Okay. I was into diving. I mean, I have a dive master certification, but it's not I haven't been diving in a little while. It's been just a couple years. Let's see. It's all good, man. Dan, I know you need to keep your streams going. I like your insight. I like the streams that you do where you give your insight on things. I like your streams where you get your get your tech talk, your solo group, because there's still a demand for the knowledge of that drone. I think you need to fly it more. I haven't seen you fly it in a while, and I know you did a lot of flights with it, but people want to see you fly that thing. And hey, Dan, I would love to get on live with you again, okay? And I'm getting my little live thing. If I could invite you on to mine, I'm going to get that figured out. I'll have you on very quick. Any of you guys, Dennis, I'll have you on. Why is drone? Dan, I got to get you in my moderator group, guys. Moderators are people that we love and trust. So, and anybody that's not a moderator, just give me a minute. I'll get you guys on there, okay? I don't like people to feel left out. So, hey, Tech for Your Needs, how you doing? Any of you guys that want to chime in, I would like to get in this channel during my time frame. I would like to get. This is kind of my desire, my like, would be to get people in here, first of all, that are interested in talking a little bit of historical stuff, okay? Because so if you're talking about aeronautics and history and things like that, because that's my expertise, is finding facts about that kind of stuff. Even going back into some of the background of our history related to the stuff that we do, the topics that we hit into. I don't mind getting into current events. So one of the current events things, Dan, we talked about was I gave my solo group to somebody else who I knew would continue doing the right thing. Are they doing that? Because that's so you guys, you tech guys that are in here, I'm gonna hit a lot of background history of things, and what you guys can do is bring in the what I would consider to be the pieces, the technical things that you guys can figure out. Because if you look at anybody's good chat streams, okay, the ones that I think are quality, they have expertise. For example, I don't like to bring in Heron because he freaking has, I don't believe he has any respect for me. I think he thinks I'm a freaking know nothing. But I like him, and I like some of the things that he does. I like that he knows his lane, and Ken stays in his lane, and his lane is entertainment. And then he brings in his experts, and then he brings in his news guy. And that's why his chat stream is good. That's why it appeals to a lot of people. He knows how to entertain, and he knows how to bring interest. So that's why he's good. And that's why he's got a lot of followers. There are other people in their lanes, like if you want to go to Ready Set Drone, he's a guy that gets more into the what I call the average everyday person's view of DJI products. He's a DJI guy, for sure. Most people are, because that's where the money is. Okay, and gets a dick. Guys, I have to deal with multiple people and multiple personalities. I will never ever. I'm not gonna push. I'm not gonna push negativity. And I understand that. Yeah, everybody has beefs. So I respect your opinion. So you're welcome to give it, because guys, it's America. I want you to, guys, as a teacher, my job I do every day is to find good in what people are about. And let me tell you something. If I get into a classroom of kids, there are kids that I can't stand, and I absolutely do not want to be in the same room with. But I have to stay in that room, and I have to give them meaning to what I teach. I have to give them basically a reason to be in the room. So I do, Dan. Let it out, baby. If he doesn't respect me, I just don't feel it. Maybe I think he thinks this is what I think when it comes to that, because I try to be positive, and it seems like when I give what I would consider to be my opinion, which maybe is outside my lane, it's not exactly his opinion. And that's what makes us great. That's what makes our country great. It makes what we talk about interesting and great, is that we all have different sets of opinions. And I'm not afraid to give my opinion, but I hope I don't like to tell somebody else that their opinion is wrong. And really my job is, it's kind of like, your statement just a second ago. That's like I said, that's your. Are there people that I want people to understand what I'm about, and I want to understand, what makes them tick, and so I have to live in a world that's multi-generational, faceted when it comes to skills, what people want and what they don't want. For example, if I started talking about history right now, I would lose people. They would leave. And that's okay. So, but as far as getting back to whatever, the chat streams, whatever, I could do that. I could do what Ken does. I know I can. I just don't know if I want to. I don't want to invest that kind of time. Guys, I have a life, and Dan, you have a life, and Dennis, you have a life, and Red Dog Drones, you have a life. And that life goes beyond maybe spending hours putting together a show. But whatever, it is what it is, isn't it? All right, let's get to a topic real quick. I am gonna close this. I'm gonna shut this popsicle stand down in exactly 10 minutes, because I'm gonna leave home and I'm gonna go eat. I eat dinner, and just like you guys. So what I want to hit before we leave is a recap of the drone thing. And I know a few people went and came onto my stream. Hopefully they looked at it and actually considered some of the things we talked about. And one of those things we talked about was the fact that that we're talking about the drone incident in Newark, in Newark being shut down, and the one in New Jersey. I just wanted to hit that. Guys, I'm not doing this for anything but interest, because as a historian, I look at mass hysteria and mass hysteria incidences. And what happened the other day was an incident of mass hysteria. And it's now basically in the minds of pilots. Pilots are afraid of having a drone fly into their intake. And I understand that. I got 3 friends that are pilots. And the most dangerous parts of a pilot's experience flying is takeoff and landing. And they don't want some idiot flying their freaking drone into the intake of their 767, basically not going fast enough and not having enough altitude to recover and land. You know, that the miracle on the Hudson, it was a miracle. There's no miracle in Las Vegas, by the way, guys. So there, you know, the Frontier airline thing, that's one of the things that was talked about by the news. Let's see. You can tell a person the way they're wrong if they have the facts, and there's a right or wrong way. I would never let someone tell me what to do or believe in how I'm right. Yeah. And you know, opinions are welcome, and I want them all. You know, if you think somebody's a freaking, you know, a dick or whatever you want to call it, more power to you. But this is what I tell my kids when they call somebody something. Why? Why don't you like them? I would rather hear that than go to the name calling. So this is what I would say, that maybe they're arrogant, maybe that they look down on certain things, but on the other hand, they look down on people in a way maybe somebody else does something, but they don't look at themselves as being in the same boat. That's the kind of stuff that would irritate me. It's easy. You're easier to say drone like dogs and squirrels. My dog sees squirrels everywhere. So getting back to is anybody hearing we're hearing I just want to get the Newark drone thing out of my life, because when I heard it on the news, it pissed me off, and it does everybody, because I'm trying. I'm doing some weird things every once in a while. Like I did some distance flights and things like that with my drone. I think twice now about doing it because I don't want people freaking sending letters to the FAA saying, he did this and that, because I'm not going to do something that's going to put the jeopardy or people's lives in jeopardy. I'm not going to, and what I've done is never done that. And let me tell you something. Anybody that criticizes somebody that did a distance flight also has done a distance flight too, and they just don't say they did it. And I think everybody in here has been criticized by somebody, somebody that's policing the internet as far as drones are concerned. What I hate is when I go onto their channel and they do something that's what I would consider to be irrational. Okay, so like for example, I flew over 10 miles of desert with my drone at 150 well under the legal limit, outside of the line of sight, of course, but within what I would consider to be the line of sight of what I would consider to be, can I see the place that I'm flying? Do I have full control over the airspace that I'm flying? The answer is yes. Because if I saw an aircraft that was near my drone, I could easily come down and land it where it's at, to protect whatever. So when the FAA approves autonomous drones, guys, getting back to the non-drone incident that happened just recently, it was not a drone. And yes, pilots are seeing drones. And you know what? This is what could be a drone. This is what I showed. Well, here, I'm not going to take off my gear. I basically yesterday showed a balloon. I have a metallic balloon that somebody gave me. Some freaking kid at his birthday party let that balloon go. It basically blew over to the approach to the local little airport, and it scared the crap out of a pilot who saw it fly by his wing, and it scared the crap out of him, understandably so. Guys, if I was a pilot, I'd see drones too. Okay, let me put it in my perspective as a teacher. Okay, all right. There's been mass shootings at schools, correct? All right, let's use this analogy. So as a teacher, I should constantly see mass shooters walking around my hallway ready to kill me. I should be looking in my classroom for the next mass killer that's going to basically shoot up a school because of one incident or two incidences. That's my analogy. And do I think about that stuff when school goes on? Do I worry about whether I insult a kid and that they might come? Guys, I live in the state of Utah. Everybody's armed here. You want to do some road rage in Utah? It's like Texas. Everybody's got a pistol in their freaking belt. The same thing. There are plenty of guns in this area. So respond to that if you think so. But as a teacher, I have to be aware of the fact that there could be an incident that could lead to the danger, a danger within the place I work, in my workplace. Just like a pilot worries about stuff hitting their aircraft. I don't know what the percentages are as far as pilots versus, you know, a mass shooting. But it seems like mass shootings are a higher percentage. So, all right. We're getting down there. We're about 5 minutes before closing here. There, I close it up. Is Dan, are you still around, man? Is Dan still around? Is he still here? Please make yourself known, Mr. Drone Worship, as he's probably ignoring me. I don't think he's just doing his deal. At work, I don't know. Is he on there? Are teachers or staff allowed to carry weapons? Yes. We are within the laws of the state of Utah. We have concealed carry ability, and schools are recognized concealed carry. So yes, we have an officer in our school that's stationed here, and if I have a concealed carry permit, he will know that, and he knows all the teachers in our school that do carry concealed weapons. Yes, my school's full of them. And if I carried or I didn't carry a concealed weapon, I couldn't tell you. Not because I'd have to kill you, but because legally, if I'm a concealed carrier, I can't divulge that information. It's supposed to be private and it's supposed to be kept confidential. So, say a student is watching this chat stream. They can't go, hey, Mr. Goebel has got a concealed weapon, you know, and he carries it to school every day. You don't want that, because if one of those kids is a nut and they want to shoot up our school, they're going to come after me, assuming that I have a concealed weapon or I don't, which I'm never going to tell you. So yes. All right. Before I go, all right, I want to show you some stuff. Well, I can show you a few things, okay? All right. First of all, one of the things that I know I don't talk, I got to move my camera down so I'm talking into it. I'm always looking down because I'm looking at myself instead of the camera. But one of the things I want to tell you is I've got some cool stuff that's going to, you know, hopefully help my stream. I got a mixer. I got a mixer board. So I got an MX-11. It's a Yamaha MX-11 mixer. I'm going to set it up this weekend and just play with it. I don't know if I'm going to use it right away with my live streams unless I'm got it, you know, the kinks worked out of it. So I'm going to go. I also have a Rode mic showing up. A nice professional grade mic. So this is actually really good, by the way. I'm very happy with this lavalier. Oop, right there. It's working pretty good. And then I got some cheap headphones. Bam! In case, I don't even need them, but in case I do an audio, which I will, I think I'm going to end with an audio. Maybe I don't have that. I don't think I have that, but so I can know the levels and things like that. I can hear the level of whatever I play. But I got a mixer, this Rode mic that's coming. That's going to be in one of my studios. I think that'll stay here, this studio. Guys, when I mean studio, I got two places where I got a computer, basically. It's not a studio. It makes it sound cool. My home one has my other mic, which works great too. I've got the newer, the inexpensive mic that works great too. I really like this though. This to me is really kind of allows for freedom. Guys, $13 and Dennis, if it's good enough for you, but what I can't do with this is it changes my it doesn't give you the same depth that it's a good mic, by the way. It's a really good one. Boya, it's one of the little Boya mics. It's actually a powered mic. It's got a ghost power to it. Works great. This thing I can huck everywhere. It's great. It's not a stereo mic though. But anyways. And guys, I'm going to keep it real. I got to keep in my lane, but I want to improve. So if you want to see my channel improve, I'm that's my goal, and I'm not asking you to help me. What I'm asking you to do is just come watch the stream, give me some feedback, tell me if it's okay. Like the feedback you're giving me, is my mic clear? Is my you know, I changed my audio or my video settings. Can you tell that I've changed my video setting? I pumped it up, so it should be better. I'll check the. I think it's 720 now. I think I figured that problem. Just like I said, just before I go, when you do get a mixer is going to give me some fun. It's going to allow me to create what I consider more deeper, a little bit more pleasing voice to hear. I have a bunch of cables that came with it that are going to go to it. So this is all stuff that goes with it. The mixer is at home. I'm still at work. And sound cards that came, some expansion cards. Now, if you're wondering my favorite vlogging setup, I just want to show you the one that I want to go back to. I've been using this. So I just want to show you the ones I've been messing with. Okay, before I run out of here. This is my 360 setup. Boom. Okay, this is the one. This is not a high quality 360. It's the first stage of 360. And I'm learning how to use this. It's very fun to edit with, okay? And the selfie stick that comes with it, okay? All right. This is the Insta-1, and it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Quality before, you often default to 480 or wherever it's. Didn't notice a problem with video quality before. Okay, YouTube will often default to 480. Thank you. I actually had it set too low. It was my personal. So all right. So this is a good vlogging tool. It's not bad. And if you watch the last video, you'll know the sound is not bad. So I basically, when I'm holding it out like this. And for my sound to improve, I just shortened the stick. Okay, but this thing's quite long. It goes way out there. So there it is. And there's the tripod that comes along with it. Okay, that's kind of cool. This is the one I've been using a lot of. I'd rather carry this thing than my other setup. Here's option 2, which people give me crap about. You got an iPhone, you know? And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with an iPhone, guys. Some people discount this simple vlogging setup right here. This is a $13 vlogging stand. There's a little remote. I'm actually going to put some two-sided. Says that you're streaming 480 now. What the heck is that doing that? Anyway, maybe it's OBS. I've got it set up. I'll check that. But this is my little remote that allows me to take pictures. You know, just still shots, and you know, it allows me to be a vlogger. And okay. But this camera on the iPhone is awesome. It's a great camera. And the sound quality of an iPhone is killer. So I don't know why people don't, just admit that their cell phone is probably one of their best options, because you don't have to buy it. You already own it. And then you just buy this little $13 stand and you make it into just a fun tool. So this is one I like. If I just run around, this is the one I'm going to bring to Poland, okay? I'm going to bring this sucker right here. I'm just going to use this one. And just upload it all to Google. I got to get out of here in a little bit. The last one I want to show you before I go here. This is probably my most professional setup. This is just my GoPro. This thing has killer. It's killer. When it's audio, I've had some problems with this thing right here, this USB-C thing, and I'm getting some weird things going on with this adapter. Every once in a while I'll have a breakup of my audio, and I have no idea why. Maybe somebody can help me with that. But this little microphone setup right here, and I've got a little ND filter on this, and this thing makes killer videos. My best video stuff, my best quality is this. It's this puppy. The ones that I do when I'm flying, this thing just kicks butt. There's no question. Okay. I took a good action camera, and then I just made it kind of DSLR like, and then I put it on the stand, carry it with me, and then I just vlog with it. Okay, And then this is an extension battery that just allows me to go a little longer with my battery time. I just put a little lipstick battery on there and just so. All right. So that's it. That's my vlogging tools that I've been using in my different ones that I've got available to me. All right. Okay, guys, I told you I had to get out of here. It's 5:35. I got to go home and eat. It's dinner time. My wife's grandmother has been living with us. She's 94. I will not miss one dinner with Grandma. So she's too awesome, and she needs me to be there so I can tell her about my day at school. She loves school. 94 years old, guys. That's awesome. So when I talk about the Great Depression, she can help me. So, all right. So, Dennis, maybe I'll see you on the chat stream tonight. I don't know if I'll get back on tonight. I have a setup at home. It's not going to be this fancy. I'm not going to have the green screen at home. Not yet. I've got a mobile green screen coming home that I'm going to attach to my chair. So, but anyways, I appreciate you guys. You guys that stuck around with me. I know we got lives outside of this, but guys, I'm going to continue it. I'm going to stay at 4 o'clock until I'll let you know, and I will make sure that I post that. If I do change my streaming time, I like Friday. 4 o'clock's great. I don't know. Works for me right now. And I want to get on my fun channels. One of them tonight is you too, Dennis. I will. My one is my conspiracy channel, guys. I want to get on and I want to hear about the conspiracy theories. I love that channel, and I'm going to get on there and chat with those guys. They're not on yet. Is Drone Worship on? Let's see. No, let's see. I want to say goodbye to Dan, but anyways, it's a UK channel, and it's oh man. It's aerial views. Hold on, I want to plug them. Let's see, aerial views. Let's see, come on here. It's aerial views and histories. Come on. Oh man, my phone is not working. It's time to go home. But it's aerial views and histories. It's a conspiracy channel. So, like I said, I wish I could show it to you right now. And it's just schools like to block stuff out. So it might not like the URL or something like that. But aerial views and histories is, I believe, what it is. And I really like that channel. And it's Yep. Thank you, Dennis. And Histories UK, love it. Thank you for plugging that, Dennis. You can even put the URL on since you're a moderator. Tinfoil stuff. Yes. Oh, it's Sunday night? Oh, thank you. Okay, so it's not tonight. Then I'll probably be on somebody else's live tonight and, maybe try to get a few subscribers. I don't know. I'd rather get them this way. I'd rather have somebody like my content, but everybody's trying to get to 1,000. I'm sick of getting people that don't like my stuff. I'd rather have you guys. So, Dennis, I appreciate you hanging out with me. I believe you're a Georgia native. That's where you call home. I'm definitely want to get out there sometime and definitely go and check and maybe visit with you. That would be kind of cool. But right now, we can just do it online, which is kind of nice too. And I'd love for you to maybe figure out how to get on the chat so we can hear you talk and interact, because you're a really interesting guy. So, all right. So I got to run. I want to get out of here. Whoa! I'm going to exit stage left. Okay. Would that be your left or your right? I don't know. And I'm going to cruise home to make it to dinner so Grandma is not without me. Okay. And yeah, Dennis, I'm with it. And my wife, I'm going to go hang out with the drone guy. She's like, well, fine, get out of here. Here's a plane ticket. She'd probably kick me out the door. So, but yeah, I'd love to fly. Georgia's a great spot, man. Yeah, it's aerial view and US and UK history. Okay. Yep. And I love that channel. I only ventured onto it. I hope they'll let me get into their stream. I wanna talk on it. I wanna get in there and I wanna get a tinfoil hat and stuff. So, all right. See you guys. See you, Richard. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you on another stream. All right, guys. All right. Peace out and. guys check me back next Friday. I'm going to pop in here, try to be a little bit regular unless I change things. But right now, we're on, okay? All right, see you guys later. And I am out of here.